Hello, I know that I look crap right now. Leave me alone. It's just the angle. I think a lot. I do. I think a lot. I was talking to my mother yesterday, and she was basically, because I was just unloading my thoughts to her, because I think a lot, and that's exactly what I'm about to get into. She had basically was talking to me, and she was like, "You think a lot," because she was like, You overthink a lot of things," and I don't think there's something inherently wrong with that, right? Um, I believe that I might have OCD, and I know what you're gonna say. Oh my God, Leviathan, you're a Gen Z teenager. Of course, you think you have OCD. You always think you have something. Maybe that's just how I was raised. Maybe that's maybe my thoughts are like that because of the environment I'm in right now. Who cares? However, I do have pliable evidence. Anyway, um, and one of the things that I have made to explain this is the loop, as I like to call it, the loop period. Um, Allow me while I create a helpful diagram. So, we have the loop. We have the beginning spiral, right? This is the beginning of a thought pattern. This is the beginning of a thought that I get stuck in. I get stuck in the thought, and then it transfers into a new thought. And then that thought loops into another thought, into another thought, into another thought, and then I'm out of it. And then it starts back up again. I'm in a thought, I loop into another thought, I loop into a thought, I loop into a thought, and then I'm out again. And then it restarts, right? And the thing that brought me to this conclusion is because I was talking to, oh my God, please, I promise I'm not chopped usually, I'm so gorgeous. Anyway, is that I was talking to my psychology teacher at my school, shout out Miss B, you're goated. And she was explaining to me that her and her daughter have OCD, and the way that she explains OCD to a lot of people is that it's like a net. The nets have like a fishing net, for example. It has holes in it so that the water can come out, but the fish stays in. And with the way that the OCD brain works, is that the holes in the net aren't big enough, right? So some thoughts trickle out, but a lot of them stay. And you'll clean out the net, and then when you go fishing again, those thoughts will get stuck again, right? And that's what brought me to the conclusion of the loop. I start with a thought. What thought should I use for this example? Okay, something heavy. I start with the thought of, let's say, an intrusive thought. I'm driving down the road with my mother. My mother is the one driving the car, and I'm sitting in the back, and the visor is down, and I can't fully see the road. This has been a thing since I was a young child, where I've looked out of, like, the front window, like the rear, like the beginning mirror, the front window of the car while I'm sitting in the back, because I just like to watch the road. I like to watch the road, when in reality it's because I'm worried that if I'm not watching it, something bad is going to happen. If I'm not watching it, the second I close my eyes, or I try to go to sleep in the back seat, or I start looking out of the window I'm sitting in front of, something bad is going to happen. Do I know what that something bad is? No. And then it loops into another thought of, so you want that to happen? Okay, so bringing back the diagram. I need my pen. Sorry if I seem manic right now. I had way too much coffee this morning. This is the start of the thought, okay? This is where the loop starts. Something bad is going to happen. That's my horrible rendition of a car. Something bad is going to happen because I'm in the car and I can't see out of the front window. Okay, so then it loops into, you want something bad to happen, right? Because you're speculating on this thought that something bad is going to happen, and that is what's going to be the benefactor this is going to happen. You're thinking, I believe it's called magical OCD, or I think it's called magical OCD. You believe that this is going to happen, so therefore it will. You having this thought means that it is inevitably going to happen because you have the thought. And then it loops into another thought of, I don't want this to happen. You know, I would never want to get into a car crash. I would never want to crash into a car. Oh, so you are worried that you're going to die and that your mom's going to die with you while you're in the car, right? It seems irrational, but in my brain it makes sense. So in the car, we're going to get in a crash. You want it to happen. I don't want it to happen. It will happen and you're going to die, right? It will happen and you're going to die, and it's going to be your fault. It will happen. You're going to die. Let me reframe it. It will happen. You're not going to die, but your mother will die. Does that make sense? I feel like it doesn't, but this is mostly for me, so I can document things. So this is going to happen, and your mother is going to die, and it's your fault, right? And then we exit the loop. You know what I mean? I try to ground myself. I try to do breathing techniques. I try to do something that will stop the inherent loop. And then let's say in this hypothetical scenario that me and my mother start arguing. We're in the car and we're arguing. Or, no, that's not very viable. We usually don't argue in the car. Let's say she hypothetically goes on her phone, right? She doesn't really do it that often, but, people are adults, okay? They're not going to actually listen to the laws because they assume that they're the one exception. Let's say we're in the car and I've just exited this thought loop and now she's going on her phone. So now the loop starts up again. Oh my God, she's on her phone. So that means that she's distracted, which means I have to watch the road. And then I'll start to get anxious, right? So I have to start watching the road. She's on her phone, but I can tell that she's looking up at the road, and I can tell that she's trying to do two things at once, even though the brain cannot multitask. It is scientifically proven. Look it up if you don't believe me. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. I don't judge. I take criticism. So now let's say that I'm telling her to get off her phone, and now I'm anxious. So now I'm anxious, and now I'm having a lot of these thoughts that, oh my God, like, we're gonna die, we're gonna get into a collision, the car's not gonna stop fast enough, and then we'll crash into another car and we'll die. That's my beautiful rendition of a car crashing into another car. Thanks. I know, it's gorgeous. Oh, I didn't know you were struggling, girl. I said I had OCD, not that I'm a fucking loser. Come on. And then I have all these thoughts of, being in this car crash and, something bad happening. And then she gets off her phone, right? And it alleviates some of my stress. And then I think, it's going to happen again, right? So I don't know how to organize my thoughts. I feel like I should have written a script, but I hate scripts. Yes, anti-script club, fuck you. So now I'm thinking, okay, so it's over. It's over, right? So we're fine. A little bit of stress has been alleviated. She's off of her phone. She's focusing on the road. And then she starts driving a little bit faster. Let's say in this hypothetical that we are in a lane where driving faster is required. You know what I mean? My mother has never done anything illegal. This is a hypothetical, but again, I'm trying to show you how my brain works, how this thought process of mine works. And now we're going a little bit faster. So then we go into another thought of, oh my God, we're going too fast. What if the turn up here where there's a bunch of trees and we can't see past it, what if the person doesn't stop and then they crash into us? What if they're also going super fast and then they crash into us and boom, now we're fucked and we're gonna die, right? It's a lot of death. I'm a lot of worried about dying. And then we go into another thought spiral of, so we're going really fast, what if we die? And then it goes into another thought spiral of someone's gonna bump into us while going really fast and then we're gonna die. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Does that ring any bells with you? And another thing, I recently have come to the conclusion that I am 269 days clean. 69, get it right? I wish I was joking. I'm not. I am. Obviously, I want to be clean. But anyway, so my fucking foot isn't asleep. I'm so sorry. It's really irritating me. I don't like when my legs fall asleep. It hurts. But I noticed today, specifically on this day when this is being posted, and I texted to my friends, I was like, oh, I was on the swings when it was happening. I have a lot of my thoughts when I'm on the swings. And you may be thinking, Leviathan, at your girl nature swinging. Yes. God forbid I have a little bit of leisure time. God forbid I enjoy myself. What are you going to do about it? Nothing, right? Because we are through a screen, and you can easily click off this video if you don't like the way I'm talking. And I'm on these swings and I'm listening to music and I'm thinking, because my friends are actively texting me, like I'm trying to like lock in and swing, but like at the same time, again, another weird thought that I have is that the second I go on Do Not Disturb, everyone's suddenly gonna need me and like everything is dying and the world is ending. Not sure why I have that thought. I literally have no basis to back it up. Never once in my life have I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and someone has like died, and when I get back off Do Not Disturb, I look like a horrible person. You know what I mean? Like, it's never happened. I don't know why I'm scared, but oh my God, can my leg unfall asleep? I can't focus. So naturally I'm texting my friend and I'm thinking, I've realized that as of recent, I am not like obsessed with being clean. And I don't mean that in the way of like, oh, like I'm gonna go back to harming myself. Like I'm gonna go back to harming myself. No, it's in the way of, I used to think about it constantly. I used to constantly think about hurting myself. It was something I was obsessed with. I would incessantly think about harming myself. What I would do if I harmed myself again. You know, would I restart the timer if I harmed myself again? And I'm just not having those thoughts. I notice that I'm kind of free from that thought loop temporarily because it always comes back up, you know? I know that the way that I draw it, it looks like a sector of a thing, but truly it goes on for infinity. It's never ending. I'm constantly getting trapped in loops and then trapped in the circles. The circles are connected. So again, you know, we're going back to the fucking diagram. We have the main thought right here that starts the loop. And then we have the intersecting thoughts that connect and escalate until, you know, you temporarily exit it, right? And I think we need to discuss that, you know? Right? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? It's just a never-ending loop, right? Another thing that I was thinking about a few days ago, I put it in my notes up specifically for when I was going to inevitably make this video, is that sometimes I feel like if you're looking at me up close, it looks like I'm moving through life. It looks like I am steadily moving forward. It looks like I'm constantly growing and changing. But if you zoom out, you'll quickly realize that my background is moving, not me, right? So it looks like I'm moving, it looks like I'm progressing. This is kind of a metaphor. It looks like I'm progressing, it looks like I'm becoming bigger than I am. But when you zoom out, you'll realize that in the time that you've been watching me walk, I've been in the same place and I have not moved. Which isn't true. I've noticed over the past 4 years since something happened in my past that I have changed immensely. I've even talked to my school counselors, my teachers at school. I've talked to them about it and they're like, no, yeah, in the time that I've known you, you have excelled, you have changed, you're able to regulate more, you know, you're coping, you're staying clean, you're not doing destructive behaviors, you're taking your meds regularly, right? And I guess all this to say, in this specific section of the video, you are not what you're struggling in currently. Your present is not your permanent. Whatever you're going through right now, it is not your forever. Oh, you have a problem with vaping? Not your forever. You will inevitably one day, you will, at least for me, in my personal experience with self-harm, because I do fight to say self-harm is an addiction, one day you're gonna do something that you regret and you're gonna think, now's the time to stop. One day you're gonna be smoking weed and you're gonna green out so fucking hard that you feel like you're dying. And then that's gonna be the turning point that makes you think, I have to stop. One day you're gonna cut too deep and that'll be the thing that makes you think, I have to stop. One day you're gonna snort too many lines or something inside of a dingy club bathroom and you're gonna have this like psychedelic fucking experience. And you're gonna, when you get sober, you're gonna think, this is my time to stop, right? Your right now is not your permanent. You will not be stuck in whatever situation you're in forever. You will inevitably be okay. And I think a lot of people kind of neglect to realize that. Because I did at one point. A few months ago, I saw this video, and I don't know if I still have it saved. I'm pretty sure I have it saved somewhere in my notes app. But they were basically talking about how, like, you need to... Oh, someone's texting me. Sorry, you need to come to the realization that one day it will stop hurting, and you're not going to know what to do. If you continue to sit in the mindset that I'm never going to get better, you will one day get better, and you will not realize that you've gotten better because you are still stuck in the mindset that you are forever going to be hurting. And that video really changed my perspective, which I know, as someone with ADHD, I don't know if these two things are correlated, but in my mind they are, is that I constantly feel like I'm stuck in one place where it looks like I'm moving, but if you zoom out, you'll realize that I've been in the same place for a very long time. And again, that's just not true. I have noticed, I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. I've repeatedly changed and I've repeatedly grown over time, and I've become better. A few months ago, almost a full year ago at this point, I was in a very abusive situation between two people, and it was extremely traumatic for me. And as of like last week, I noticed that when I think about it, I'm even thinking about it right now, just recounting it to you, it doesn't hurt like it used to. It doesn't hurt at all. You know, am I saying that I forgive those people for what they did to me? No. they can fucking burn in hell. Hashtag evil bitch for life. But, you know, I'm not bothered by it anymore. So what, I was sexually assaulted and I was raped by 2 people. Who cares? Turn around, they drowning? Why should I turn around? I don't give a fuck. Again, it's one thing that I was trying to bring up in this video, but I neglected to, is that it's a matter of perspective. And that can go for many things. This thought pattern that I have, it's a matter of perspective. It's a matter of how you were raised, the environment you grew up in, what things have said to you, what people have said to you, you know, what content you were shown in your developmental areas, you know, what content you're shown now that changes your perspective. An example I just brought up that I'd like to use for this theory is that, you know, sure, I was raped multiple times by 2 people, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible experience, and it fucked up my mental health for months, and I stayed clean throughout all of it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't hurt anymore. It's a matter of perspective. I would fight to say that seeing that video that told me that one day I was going to be fine and one day I was going to heal, I'd fight to say that that did change my perspective, that was something that changed the way I think, right? So all this to say, one day you're going to be fine. One day the feelings to relapse will go away. One day the cravings for alcohol will go away. One day the scary thoughts will go away. One day the nightmares will go away. You just have to fight. One day, whatever that is you're suffering from right now, it will go away and it will get better. I promise you. You just have to wait, and you just have to fight. You just have to... The only way out, my love, is through, and you've got to fight like fucking hell, okay? That's all I wanted to say. Have a good day. Love you, bye.